What's up? This is Coach Watts here, and this is show number 4 of the College Prospects podcast. If you haven't heard 1 through 3, and you're serious about becoming a college prospect, or maybe you're in college right now, you have a child who's serious about becoming a prospect, then you're going to want to go back and listen to shows 1 through 3 as I kick the facts and let you guys know what I've learned from my life going through it, myself with my father as my guide, and then helping my kids go through it, my own kids, and then the dozens and dozens of kids that I've helped earn scholarships as well. On the College Prospects podcast, I break down, and I got a good show for you today, and something that's very important. And today what I want to talk about is exposure. And through the course of the show, we'll talk about a lot of different words, terms, concepts, these key words, trigger words that people use in order to get you excited about things, get you to invest your time, your money, your energy into those things. But I just want to say that there's 3 things that really happen. And at the end of the day, just because you're in the gym and there's coaches on the sideline, or even if there's cameras on the sideline watching, doesn't mean that you're getting exposure. If you're not prepared for the opportunity, you could be getting exposed in the same situation. And you can also just be plain and simple being taken advantage of, where there are a lot of programs that will say, hey, you're going to get this exposure, you're going to get that exposure, but they're not even in the tournaments where coaches can go. All right. So one fact that is very important for you to know right now, the NCAA changed the recruiting calendar. So there are only 10 days during the year in 23, 24 where college coaches can watch you with your travel basketball programs. And I'll tell you why that's significant. There are 2 weekends where college basketball coaches can watch you with your high school programs. But it's key, it's critical, if you're a college prospect, to let your coaches know and to try to get into the events that college coaches that are sanctioned by the NCAA, where they can watch you in the end of the late part of June. And then there's a final weekend in July where the NCAA has its own academy, where they bring out prospects, they fly out parents, and that used to be an AAU recruiting period, but it isn't anymore. So that's the calendar. It's important to understand the calendar. It's important to understand that, from your freshman through your rising junior year, when you talk about exposure in the sense of what most people think it is, or how most people understand it, that's, you basically have about a 30-day in 3-year opportunity where college coaches are going to be watching you. And why is it so important for me to make that point? Well, what are all these other tournaments for? What are you doing every other weekend, every weekend when you're in these tournaments? First, if you're talking about developing into a prospect and you're not already there, there's a myth I got to dispel. You don't get better playing against competition. You don't get better in games unless you have worked on and have new skills in order to experiment with and play with. I think that's an important part. It's an important factor. You have to carry, like, when you look at the NBA and you look at players make jumps during the offseason. They make jumps when they're in the gym and nobody's watching. When you're in competition and you're constantly battling and you're working and you're trying to prove yourself, you're not going to take the risks and make the failures that it takes in order to improve, in order to get better. You're going to play it close. You're going to play in your comfort zone. And honestly, if you're smart about it, or you think people are watching, you think coaches are watching, You have to play to your strengths. And it's those down times when you're in the gym by yourself where you can address and look at those areas that need improvement. But if you're constantly at practice and you're constantly in a tournament, then you're never really pushing the envelope the way that you need to in order to improve to be the type of player that it takes in order to be a college prospect. So that's really important. And exposure, check this out, is only exposure if you're prepared for the opportunity that's in front of you. All right? That's the only time it's exposure. Now, that's not the only value there is in it, right? If it's an experience, so you go get the experience and you learn from it, and then it prepares you for the next time you get the opportunity, then it's not exposure, but it is a valuable experience, right? But if all you're going to do is show up and keep beating your head against the wall thinking that you're going to get a different result, what you're going to end up doing is getting exposed, or just being taken advantage of by a program. They're telling you one thing, but it's not truly that. So that's just a little something to think about on your road, on your journey to being, a college basketball player. And the other thing that's really important, right, because there's such a limited time and such a limited opportunity of actual exposure with your travel ball team, it's important to find the right team and to put yourself in the right situations where you're playing the way that you need to play to show college coaches that you have skills. So first, you got to have the skills that translate to the next level. Let me back that up. But then second, you got to make sure you put yourself in a situation where you're playing the way that you need to play to show coaches that you have the skills to translate to the next level. I mean, I'll tell you this personally, like, you can go to a tournament, you can go to a team, there could be coaches on the sideline, coaches who are interested in you. But if you're playing out of position, or you're playing with the wrong idea or the wrong concept of what it is you should be doing or need to be doing to get to the next level, you will lose, right? That's one of the things that people don't realize or they don't understand is you will lose interest from college coaches by putting yourself in a situation where you're not being optimized. You're not showing that you have the understanding or the skills that translate to the next level. You're just out there playing, but you're not either having the opportunity or taking the opportunity in the right manner. It will cost you interest. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in another show. As far as your game film and all of that stuff, is very important that if you're serious about being a college prospect, if you're serious about putting your kid in a position to play the game at the next level, that you start to understand these things and understand how to make the most out of the situations, both before going into them, in the situations in the tournaments, and then post situations and tournaments. Because at the end of the day, only 1% of high school basketball players play Division I basketball on a scholarship. Only 5% play anywhere. And this conversation is for those who are concerned, who are interested in being in that top, really 2.5%, that want to play college basketball at the next level and want to, get paid for it. They want, when I say get paid for it, there's NIL and stuff like that, but they want to earn a scholarship, the opportunity to play at the next level. These are some of the things that you need to understand that will give you the advantage over others going into it. You show up at a tryout, like don't let the FOMO, right, the fear of missing out on all of this stuff, have you actually missing out on the opportunity to develop the skills and the mindset and the abilities that are necessary in order to capitalize on the situation anyway. So I'm Coach Watts, just giving, some advice. You guys, in the description, if you want to be involved in our program, we have a year-round academy program helping get kids to the next level. We have college prep scholarship opportunities. My dog just walked in here. What's up? What's up, Roxy? But yeah, we have those opportunities. They'll be in the descriptions here. And also, I didn't mention it today. I'm a little bit off my rhythm, but hey, I'd like to know what you think. Feedback. Would love to know anything that you want to learn more about, know more about. On this journey, it's a tough one, but it's very fun. It's very rewarding. Just dropped my son off at Washington State University, Wazoo, this weekend. My daughter's up at Western. I'm going to be playing her redshirt freshman year next year, both on full ride scholarships. Very proud of that. But more than proud of it, I'm committed to help the next generation, the next crew, come and do the same thing. I have a goal and I have an objective of being the #1 developer of college talent in the world. In order to do that, this is a part of it, but identifying those players who are kind of on the outside looking in and are willing to put in that work to knock down the door and create some opportunities for themselves. So if that's you, make sure you reach out to me. If you got a kid, if that's your kid, make sure you reach out to me, and let's make something special happen for them. That's today's show. I'm Donald Watts. This is the College Prospects Podcast. I am out. Until next time, next Monday, we'll be dropping another show. We'll see you soon. Peace, love, and basketball. I'm out.